At Skyhaven Airport in Hangar 3, you will find all the necessary documents you will need in preparation for a VFR cross-country flight. They are a flight plan, a pre-flight action sheet, and a navigation log. Items you will need to plan a cross-country flight are a navigation log, plotter, pencil, highlighter, a current sectional chart for the location you'll be flying, a Cessna 172 information manual, and a current airport facility directory. You will also need a CX2 flight computer. To begin, unfold your VFR sectional to the airport you will be departing. Find Skyhaven Airport and write the three-letter identifier on your navigation log. This will be RCM and will be your starting checkpoint. Next, locate your destination airport on your VFR sectional. At the top of the navigation log, write 2 and the three-letter identifier. This will ensure you have the correct navigation log for the cross-country you are about to fly. Line up your plotter with both airports and use your pencil to draw a dark line between the airports. This will serve as your course. Now, find a line of longitude that intersects with your course. Place your plotter on your course and center the azimuth on a line of longitude. To find an azimuth, keep the plotter on the course and slide your plotter until it intersects a line of longitude. If your plotter is on your course and the azimuth is on a line of longitude, then your course will be seen on the outer semicircle edge. Note the direction we'll be flying. Since we're flying east, we'll use the course heading of 125 degrees. If we were flying on this course westbound, it would be 305 degrees. Most aviation measurements use nautical miles, so verify which side of the plotter to use to measure distance. On your VFR sectional, pick checkpoints with distinctive features that can be easily identified from the air. Checkpoints used to verify your location along your course are only useful if they can be positively identified. Avoid using single common landmarks, such as towers, since these can look the same for different locations. Study your VFR sectional and look for your first checkpoint on your course. Draw a small line to identify your checkpoint on your course. A private airport named Lake Sexton will be the second checkpoint. Write this down on the navigation log. The number of nautical miles between them will be your first leg in the distance column. Write 12 in the distance column in the leg box. We will add up each leg to find our total distance between departure airport and our destination airport. The next several steps will be finding checkpoints on our course. Use your sectional chart legend to identify topographic information to aid in finding checkpoints that will be easy to identify when flying at cruising altitude. The third checkpoint that should be easily identifiable is a railroad track southwest of Green Ridge. Note this railroad track is abandoned. Measure distance in nautical miles from Lake Sexton to the railroad track and write this down on your navigation log. In the leg box, put the measured distance in nautical miles in that distance column. Here we can see 8 nautical miles between Sexton and the railroad track. Let's continue to find our fourth checkpoint. Our fourth checkpoint is going to be a divided highway running north and south. Measure the distance in nautical miles from the railroad track to the divided highway. Write down on your navigation log the checkpoint and the distance of the leg. Here we see the distance between the railroad track and the divided highway is 10 nautical miles. The fifth checkpoint will be the city of Cole Camp. Write down on your navigation log the distance between the divided highway and Cole Camp. This leg is only 4 nautical miles. We can expect a shorter time between these checkpoints. This requires extra vigilance for timing yourself between checkpoints and changing your navigational radios. We will get to these methods later on. Our sixth checkpoint will be a power transmission line. Write this down on your navigation log and measure the distance between Cole Camp and the power line and record it in the distance column. To identify a power line, reference your legend and the topographic information. Noticing a power transmission line from the air can be seen because it's cut through the forest. However, be careful because you can confuse power lines with others that may not be on your course. Measure the distance between Cole Camp and the power transmission line and record this on your navigation log. Write down in your distance column the nautical miles between Cole Camp and the power transmission line. Let's move on to our next checkpoint. In the distance column, write down the number of nautical miles from the power transmission line to Harbor Airport. We can see that 13 nautical miles is the distance between these two checkpoints. Finally, measure the distance between Harbor Airport and AIZ. Write down AIZ as your final checkpoint on your navigation log. Also record the nautical mile distance in the distance column. Next, we will add up all the legs in our distance column. Add up each leg to find your total distance. Next, find the remaining distance for each checkpoint. Take your total and subtract each leg until you reach 0. Now let's double check our work. Measure the distance between the departure airport and the destination airport. It should be the same number as your added total legs in the distance column. If you find an error, recheck your math, remeasure each leg, and ensure you measure from the nautical mile side of the plotter. Next, I'll talk about VFRs, picking cruising altitudes based on direction of flight, and where to get a weather briefing. Also, I'll talk about how to calculate magnetic heading based on wind direction and isogonic lines.